Sucker, sucker!
Tell me, hear you say that. Tell me, you make you say that. Alright everybody, that was the Booker T theme song. Can you beat that, sucker? Alright, here I am with my recap of Smackdown. I thought it was a decent show overall. They had some some solid good matches on here. We saw we had Sheamus and Damien Sandow. There was Kane, we had Kane and Rhea. We had Orton and Dolph Ziggler. We had Ziggler job clean again. They also furthered the Kane anger management storyline and they recapped the Daniel Bryan segments, which are awful. Josh Matthews got attacked by Kane again. We had a solid tag match, and we had an okay Diva match. Solid Rey Mysterio Cody Rhodes match with some stuff happening at the end of that. And we had Vicky Guerrero still protesting AJ being Raw GM, and even Booker T now saying that she's crazy, that AJ is crazy. So with that in mind, let's get to the let's go do it. Show kicked off. Sheamus came out, and he says before he gets down to business, he'd like to take the time to acknowledge one of the greatest guys he's ever had the honor of fighting, that being Triple H, of course. He mentions that, he had his very first WrestleMania match with Triple H, and not surprisingly, Triple H gave him his very first WrestleMania loss. That was, I believe, WrestleMania 26. Sheamus says that, he doesn't know what Triple H's future holds, but he can say this, Triple H has Sheamus's respect and the respect of all the fans. And Sheamus says Triple H is an embodiment of the champion, and he says that's kind of ironic since the guy who'll be defending the title against another champion, Alberto Del Rio, is not that kind of a guy. So then Damien Sandow comes out and goes, hallelujah, and all that. He said, he does his usual bit, the intellectual savior martyr bit. Says he's here to help the masses, specifically Sheamus. And Sheamus says that's great because he can use all the help that he can get. And Sandow says that so he seems to be as ignorant as he is enormous about Sheamus. I'm not sure what the hell he meant by that, but then Sandow says that like Sheamus comes out and pulls over Triple H and talks about him with such reverence. And Sandow reminds everyone that it was Triple H who led the band of degenerates DX in an attack against him at the 1000th Raw, and Sheamus says, how could I forget it? And so, it was great, and since Sandow says, that's a typical response from a hooligan or whatever. And then Sandow even says that, every week, each week Sheamus comes out and drags the unwashed masses further down into their own ignorance or whatever, the usual way he talks. And then Sheamus says that, he wants to make sure, you're talking about me, right, fella? Oh, yeah, I just want to make sure. So then Sandow says that, Sheamus calls himself a proud Irishman, but he says that Sheamus does nothing more than bring disgrace, dishonor, and promotes a stereotype. And then Sheamus just cuts him off and says that, Sandow thinks everyone wants to hear him talk for the next 20 minutes, but the reality is, Sheamus and everyone in the building has a life, so. And Sandow says, and I'm here to enrich it. And then Sheamus tells Sandow that he'll do everyone a favor and just put it on it. So then Sheamus says that says that if Sandow wants to continue enriching everyone's lives with all his garbage he's spewing, then he can come into the ring and say it to Sheamus' face. So then Sandow says that there's nothing more he would love to do than to walk right in the ring and thrash Sheamus in a debate of philosophies, but he has deemed Sheamus unworthy of his time. And Sandow says he can't help that, that's the way it is, and therefore, and he says, therefore he has now saved Sheamus from the intellectual thrashing he was about to receive. And Sandow says, I will now take my leave. You're welcome. And then, oh my goodness, dog, Booker T comes out, the GM, and he says that he came out because he actually agrees with Sandow, being that, it's like, no one wants to see an intellectual thrashing, but they do want to see a physical thrashing. So Booker says that, we may not be in Ireland, but we are right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Even Mick Foley cheap popped it. And then he says the Sheamus will face Sandow later on in the show. How can you do that, sucker? Good promo. I thought it was a good promo to kick off the show, and it led to a match for later. Then we had Rey Mysterio against Cody Rhodes. It's not a good match here. Mysterio eventually got the pin. He could go for 619, but Cody got out of the way. He blocked it and whatever, and eventually Rey got the pin. Then afterwards, Cody just started. Cody was again obsessed with taking masks off of everybody. He's saying they had a promo from him, Cody, saying it's like, oh yeah, in Mexico the mask is an honor or whatever, but he says like, oh here it's just to hide the hideousness of the face and blah 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 blah. So then Cody was pulling Mysterio's mask off, or attempted to, and then Sin Cara came in, and he made the save, and then he got Cody in position for Rey to give Cody the 619. So Cody got 619 by Mysterio, and then Sin Cara takes another mask, one of his own masks, the Sin Cara mask, and he puts it on Cody's head. And then Michael Cole's like, oh man, how humiliating, this got to be for Cody Rhodes been trying to pull the mask off everybody, now they put one on his head. I was alright with it. Then they showed the first of the 3 god-awful week, Daniel Bryan, Kane anger management sessions. Those segments were horrible. I didn't even bother watching them a second time. Then he comes out for commentary for the next match, which is #1 contender for the Meaningless Divas title, Caitlyn versus Natalya. And of course, Caitlyn wins. A decent match. It wasn't really that much. Then Matt Striker interviewed Booker T. Backstage, Striker mentions that the GM position now has come under some scrutiny lately, especially considering what happened on Raw. Then they re-show the AJ Vicky Guerrero bit from Monday, and Booker says that he had high hopes for AJ, but he thinks the pressure's getting to her. And he says that she kind of went overboard when she booked the Jericho Ziggler contract versus contract match. It was like, hey girl, let's get it done, dog, or whatever kind of something like that. Booker said that the match never should have been made, and then he says that AJ attacking Vicky Guerrero was uncalled for, and he says that AJ is off her rocker. So then Vicky Guerrero comes in, and she's like, that little psychotic AJ, all the friends have turned their backs on her. And Vicky says that she's gotten emails, tweets, touts, and all that shit, encouraging her to take action against that horrible assault that happened on Monday. So then she says that even the Smackdown GM, Booker T, agrees that AJ is whacked. So then she says that the mentally deranged child's reign of terror will come to an end. And Vicky mentions that she spoke with the board of directors, and they saw what happened, and assured Vicky that they'll take action, because if they don't, then she will. Mixed bag segment here, I thought. Like I said, Vicky was a good promo. But the whole thing with like AJ being crazy, being a whack job, and not being the GM is just too much. It's like I said. I mean, now I didn't get them saying it's like, oh hey, shouldn't have, it's like AJ should never book Jericho and Dolph in the contract versus contract match, where it's like, that was like really, I found it to be kind of weird, since it's like GMs always put steps in the matches like almost all the time, and even the same thing with AJ and Vicky going at it. It's like Booker saying that AJ attacking Vicky was uncalled for, and it's like that always happens too. So it's like I thought it was kind of weird. Well, rebound time. They just recapped the end of Raw with Laura and Punk, and then Cena coming in. Where's the cage, all that stuff. And then they showed the second, they reshowed the second anger management segment with Daniel Bryan from Raw. Then we get Sheamus versus Damien Sandow. It was okay. It was an okay match. Sandow just took walked out. He got counted out, so Sheamus won it. Most of the match actually was Sandow rolling out of the ring and attempting, trying to escape and just head to the hills. And Sheamus just kept going after him and throwing him back in the ring. But eventually Sandow got out of the ring, ran up the ramp, got counted out. And then actually during the next up was tag action, Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus the Primetime Players. During this match, actually, they showed a tout from the Usos saying that they should be the next tag team champions because they're the only true team in WWE. So Tyson and Justin Gabriel versus Titus O'Neil, Darren Young. Solid match. Primetime Players get the win when Darren Young pinned Justin Gabriel. Gabriel was on the top rope, and I think it maybe Titus crotched him or whatever. And then Darren Young eventually hit the powerbomb gutbuster and got the pin. And then they reshowed the third and final for Monday segment of the anger management crap with Kane and Daniel Bryan. So next, Josh Matthews is in the ring, and he's going to interview Alberto Del Rio. So Ricardo comes out, does the usual introduction for Del Rio. And then, Josh mentions that, Del Rio beat him last week to become #1 contender for the world title again. And then Del Rio says he didn't just defeat Orton, he made one of the toughest men in WWE history tap out. And they re-show the end of the match where he got Orton in the cross-arm breaker and Orton tapped. So Del Rio says that he's planning to do the same with Sheamus at Night of Champions to become the new world champion. And Josh asks, how does Del Rio account for the fact that Sheamus has beaten Del Rio every time they've been in a title match? Del Rio calls Josh a little weasel and reminds him that Kane threw him around at SummerSlam like a piece of trash, and then Del Rio says that that's nothing compared to what he'll do to him right now. Before anything else happens, then Kane's power goes off, he comes out, Josh gets the hell out of the ring, Alberto and Ricardo do also, and then Kane gets in the ring, he gets the mic, and he says that his anger management therapist asked him to come to the ring, and then apologizes to Josh Matthews. So Kane tells Josh he's sorry for throwing him over a barrier at SummerSlam. And then he thanks Josh or whatever for playing a role in his recovery program. Then, holla player, Teddy Long comes out and he tells Del Rio that he'd better hope Kane is getting good praise in his anger management class because Del Rio will face Kane right now. A little on the weak side, I thought, this segment. The whole thing with Kane and having the anger management issues was just him coming in saying, yo, my name is Kane, and I tweet Josh Matthews. It was just stupid. It was weak. Even the Del Rio promo here, I thought it was a little stale here, Del Rio. How often are they going to do Sheamus and Del Rio? So it wasn't much. So then we get Kane and Del Rio. Del Rio got the pinfall. It was a decent match. So Ricardo, so he sort of tripped Kane. I don't know if he messed up or whatever. He was supposed to trip him, but it was I don't think he touched him. Then Kane pulled Ricardo by the hair onto the ring apron, and then he goozled him and was going to chokeslam him. But then Del Rio capitalized on the distraction and hit the backstabber on Kane and got the 3 count. Like I said, it was a solid match, But and then afterwards, Kane goes after Josh Matthews, all pissed off at him that he lost the match to Del Rio, and he throws Josh over the announce table or whatever, and he's screaming to Josh. Like, oh, sorry that I lose my temper or whatever, and then he throws Josh Matthews in the ring, and then chokeslams him. Whatever, this whole, like I said, this whole Kane, Daniel Bryan, the two of them having anger management issues is just not working for me. I don't go for it. So they go to break. Back to the show. Michael Cole's on commentary by himself, and they show during the break, Josh Matthews was being helped to the back by a referee and a trainer, and then they replayed the Triple H promo from Raw, the really good Triple H promo, I should say. And finally, we get Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. A really good match, but Orton pinned Dolph clean. So once again, they had Dolph Ziggler lose cleanly. He does the clean job to a guy who's going to be taking some time off to make a freaking movie. I don't get that. So, like I said, to say the least, this company is say that this company is mind-boggling is an understatement. So then afterwards, as Lily was announcing Orton's the winner, Vicky snatched the mic from her and said, "It's still your Money in the Bank winner, Dolph Ziggler." So then Dolph and Vicky head up the ramp. Orton poses on the turnbuckle doing the usual bit, and that was the end of the show. Like I said, I was okay with the show. I thought it was decent. Like I said, Sheamus, Sandow, that promo at the start, I thought it was okay. That was good. The match was decent too. It was mostly just Sandow just trying to bail out the whole match. But it was okay, for what it was. Like I said, Orton, Dolph, like I said, good. But why have Dolph do a clean job to Randy Orton? I just don't get it. It's like the guy who's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he's doing a clean pinfall job to a guy who just came back from a 2-month layoff and is going to be taking more time off to make a freaking movie. I don't get that. I don't get that. Just the Gable Tyson Kidd and the Primetime Players was a solid match. The Booker T promo with him calling AJ crazy, whatever, that was weak. Like I said, even when AJ is not on the show, the character is being overplayed. So Caitlyn and Natalya are decent, but it really sucks that Natalya is booked to be pretty much nothing. She's on Jobber Island. I don't know why. And like I said, Ray Cody was solid, and having Sin Cara come in and put the Sin Cara mask on Cody's head was kind of odd, but it wasn't too bad. So like I said, on the whole, I thought this was a decent show. I was alright with it. And that'll do it for me right now. So I'll be back on Monday. On Monday, I'll be back on probably either Tuesday or Wednesday with my Raw recap. So till then, you can check TonyViz.blogspot.com. You can read my in-depth recap of the shows, and you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You can leave me some feedback, and thanks to like I said, add me as a contact and share a video with me, whatever you want. I appreciate those of you who have. And that'll pretty much do for me right now. So, like I said, so you can feel free to give me some feedback on this video, on the videos. Tell me your thoughts on the shows. And that'll pretty much do it. So till next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I get around to it, I'll be back with the Raw recap. And until then, this is Tony Viz, the Tone, signing off for right now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Now can you dig that sucker? Thank you, everybody.